You know, it's been a year since I bought that jet engine. For those who have been following along the whole time, it was last Christmas is when I purchased that. With that project, I thought it would be fun to document it on YouTube also. So it's been about a year now since I've been doing the YouTube thing, sharing that pontoon project. So thank you so much for everybody that's followed along. I think I've got almost 5,000 subscribers. Had a bunch of fun collaborations with other YouTubers, meeting other people in the industry, friends, neighbors that had jets. It's really been a fun year building that project, and also all the other things that were unexpected that came along with it. So I'm not going to talk too much more, but I just want to give a quick recap on where the jet pontoon started in December of last year and where we made it to December of this year. So if you haven't seen it before, Brian Lahones has a podcast that's called Dorkomotive Podcast. And shortly after I bought this jet engine last year, he had a podcast about the history of the water speed record. It's an excellent podcast. If you like history and you like that kind of thing, you'll enjoy it. He's very thorough. But it turns out that this same J34 that I purchased to put on the pontoon happens to be the same engine that currently holds the all-time water speed record at 317 miles an hour. Ken Warby in the Spirit of Australia piloted that boat. So that's kind of how the whole jet pontoon project got started. I got the jet engine, got it running, needed an application for it that doesn't go 317 miles an hour, and here we are. So the spring, we'll have plenty more updates. We'll get that pontoon going a lot faster. We've got a lot of stuff engineered and planned already. So that's what we have in store for 2023. But I just want to come on, do a quick recap, say thank you everyone for watching, subscribing. I appreciate it more than you could imagine. So I hope you're enjoying watching this build project. Let's get to the jet pontoon action. Probably looks like it's in a little rougher shape than it really is. I've gone through it once already, just to get a good understanding of what I'm going to need to get this thing running again. Alright, so we finished our hydraulic power unit. So we're going to try to start this thing up for the first time. I don't expect things to go perfect, so as long as we're in the right direction, at least there's some stuff we can fix and learn along the way. So we've got our tank now, all our lines hooked up. We've got our motor that we're using to start this pump. And then we mounted up our hydraulic valve. We should be able to shift this valve just ever so slightly forward, and that should start to get the inside of this turbine rotating. She's alive! So I'm gonna drop and design a quick like 4.5 gallon fuel cell. We'll get it cut out, welded up, so we can hook an airline onto it with a pressure gauge, so we can adjust how much pressure goes into it, and we can fill that with fuel, and then that should be sufficient to start the jet. So first things first, we'll do a quick little fabrication montage, and then we'll roll the thing back out and see if it starts. Time to do some fabrication, so I'll show you what we got going on. So we've got the jet hanging from the chain falls. We've got our plumb lines coming down, and our frame underneath is all squared up and leveled. So it's about as square as we're gonna get this thing. You You can see the combustion chamber sitting pretty level there. We've got our plumb lines running down, measured off both sides. Then we've got the same thing up front hanging from our center link, and then 2 more plumb lines. And we're measuring off the front and the side of the frame to make sure we're square. So that should be everything we need. And just start measuring, cutting cross members. We're gonna have a hoop come up top with an adjustable link so we can adjust the angle of this thing. So I did measure, do a little math to make sure there's enough room underneath. So if we're 5 degrees tilted up or 5 degrees tilted down, we won't bottom out the gearbox on the floor. So yeah, I think that's it for now. I'll give another update here once I get everything welded in, and then it should be ready to sit on the pontoon. Well, I started this thing, I think when the sun was just coming up, so I think we're about 14 hours into the fab process, but it is officially sitting on its own feet on the ground on the pontoon mount. Got a pile of sheet steel here, got them laid up on the plasma table, laptop ready to go, and then we've got our build sheet. So that's the tank. 60 inches by 20 by 20, 2 baffles. Got our kind of bill of material laid out. Neighbor's gonna help me weld these up, so I threw together some quick build sheets just to call it the parts. There's some like little notches and little things, some relief cuts, stuff like that, but pretty simple. It's just a box with some baffles. All right, so my neighbor Eric, who's been helping me on this project, used his garage and all his fabrication equipment, has got this whole tank welded up in a short day. We got our baffles, and like you saw in the design, all the individual panels. Got one last panel to throw in there. Add a couple fittings, and we're ready for fuel. Get in the backyard where the neighbor's got an excavator, where we can pick this whole thing up and get it up high enough into the air to put onto the pontoon. So it's an exciting milestone. Be the first jet engine on a pontoon as far as I'm aware. Off we go. Well, this is where progress ends for now. There was another milestone we achieved. Have the jet mounted on the pontoon. So for the first time ever, we've got this. Okay, so now getting the plywood put on. Nothing really fancy to show here. Just got your plywood. Re-drilling through the existing holes, putting new hardware in. So just hammering a bolt through, hitting it with the impact. And then once I get all the flooring on, I've got this kind of wood textured vinyl flooring that'll go down on top of it. So I gotta roll that stuff. Alright. Well, let's see if the outboard starts and be on our way. Oh, also a unique feature, forward is reverse and reverse is forward. So that's how jet pontoons work. Sorry if you guys didn't know that. Alright, we're running. Sitting low in the back. All right, so what to expect for 2023? We've got new hull designs, lifting strakes, a third pontoon going on the pontoon. That'll get us up out of the water. The thing should be on the water, should be going much quicker, and we'll see how far we can push it before maybe a certain event coming at the end of August. So one last thing, I just want to say, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys around. Look forward to some more fun stuff for 2023. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.